What's up, we're Fall Out Boy, and we're here to give you a video history of our band.
On the way to make the Grand Theft Auto video, we got in a pretty horrible van accident. And, I won't say his name. I won't say Dancy's name, but he
almost killed him.
He says he slipped on black ice. He says he hit black ice. I think he hit his iPod too many times. But we ran into a forest.
Almost bit through my lip.
Yeah, and he went into shock. But no one actually got physically hurt. Because the whole van was destroyed, trailer was destroyed, gear was destroyed.
Then we did it in Detroit, around Michigan somewhere.
Was it in Michigan?
And then it was cold, and we did it in the snow. And that's it. Good night, thanks.
So Sugar Going Down was a funny video because we were, kind of starting out doing videos. It was very early on for us. And this was like the first time we had we were getting real video treatments in from the directors.
And no involvement in it.
And they were all horrible. Like we were getting all these video treatments and it was just very okay, so it's like hot people at a party. And and then this one stood out because it was decidedly not that. And I don't know, Pete, if you want to talk about that, but that was
good.
Yeah, I mean that was basically that was the deciding factor. It was weird. Yeah. We were like, thank goodness it's weird. Yeah.
It's strange that something that is like that can be associated with you forever.
Yeah. It's really it's far more distant from the band than anyone thinks.
What a treat. We inspired a whole Jeff Lemire comic series. Just kidding, Jeff.
I wish.
I don't.
So that video, we kind of, it becomes a strange thing when you're in a band that does whatever. All of a sudden, your perspective of yourself and the world's perspective of you kind of separate. Yeah, and so I think that video was an attempt to parody some of that, even the parody, the sincerity of the Dance Dance video, and I don't know. I think when you kind of it was just important to be for us to at least let people know that we get that a lot of this is pretty funny and bizarre. So the parties and the
and there was the hip hop studio thing was in that. Right?
Yeah, the whole thing was just kind of
that was the beginning. That was the second video within the beginning of our partnership with Alan Ferguson.
Yes.
Well, we did all of our videos with him for a while.
Yeah. That was an interesting video to make. It was our first video that we did without Alan. So it was in a while. The director we've been working with. So, and he had such a specific style and way of working with us, and I think he was really nuanced because he knew everyone's personality and stuff. And so it was cool to do, while it was a little weird, it was cool to do something with somebody different, and I think that's why that video came out so strange and different than the other ones.
It's such a great thing too. I remember, this is just a microcosm of our working relationship that I love. Is we never understand each other. We've never understood each other on a taste level. And so I said to Pete, I had been complaining about our videos because they were too plot driven and all this other stuff. And he goes, well, what are you into? I'm
I've never complained about anything.
but I go, so I said, he goes, well, what are you into? I'm like, well, I don't know, kind of simple visuals. I really like, just a simple visual thing. And he goes, oh, okay, I got it, simple visual. And it's chaos visually. There's just so much stuff happening in that video, right? And he's like, yeah, see, there's no plot. It's simple. And I'm like, it's not simple. I'm wearing clown makeup and stuff, whatever. But a yellow top hat. But it was great because I think that's part of what makes the band work is that we don't really understand. That happens on the music side all the time where you're like, I want it to sound like this. And oh, like an orchestra. Right, got it. You're like, no. So.
I think the thing with videos, my buddy told me years ago, he's like, videos are 50-50, especially if you're not spending $1 million. And you can't tell when you're there.
Fall Out Boy never is.
Yeah, you can't tell when you're there, but 50% of them are going to be good, 50% of them are going to be not so hot, and it's really hard to tell in the moment. Yeah. In the moment you're I don't know, it all looks kind of bad and cheap and fake right now.
It goes through.
Totally.
Like in the whole process.
Totally.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, this is gonna be great, and then you see something that's like, this is gonna suck.
I think
and then it comes out, and you're like, this is great.
I think the weirdest one that happens, and it happens once in a while, is where you show up and you're like, my goodness, this is going to be amazing. And you look at the set and you're like, wow, we really knocked it out of the park with this one. And you see the video and you're like, wah, wah.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that does happen from time to time. You really have no way of knowing what's going to
And
work.
that's in the hands of the director
Yeah.
and also whoever edits it as well, because sometimes the editor is like, whoa, you don't have any rhythm musically or anything. Wow.
What were we doing? Eating stuff?
I was eating stuff.
Yeah.
That was
This was like so this whole string of videos began accidentally, as most apparently Fall Out Boy stuff has, where we did a video for my songs and we had 2 Chainz in it, and it was kind of like supposed to be a placeholder video, and then it reacted with all of us and everyone more viscerally than we expected, and so it was like, well, why don't we try to make 11 videos or whatever and a narrative. It's really hard to do, man. That's all I'll say. It's really hard to do on no budget. But that's like that video involved
Cannibalism,
yeah.
nudity, and
Surprise
Drugs.
nudity. I didn't know that was happening.
what's up?
drug.
Drug. You had a drug.
So there was a time in my life where I thought I wanted to be an actor. And then this series of videos started, and I was like, I don't think I want to be an actor. This was the beginning of that.
That's when I knew I could be an actor.
Really?
I'm kidding. Can't be an actor.
The original idea for this video was to actually shoot it in the Coliseum. We had seen Jumper has seen shot in the Coliseum, and so we researched, and you can shoot in the Coliseum as long as nothing but your feet touches the ground. So like if you bring in lights, you bring in anything, it all has to be like on a person. You can't lay anything down in the Coliseum, and I think you shoot at like odd hours or whatever. But we were on tour when the video needed to be done, so we went and shot in this Canadian fortress, and
It was still really cool.
It was
no, it was
cool.
awesome.
It was
Yeah,
amazing,
like,
actually.
Really cool.
Very cool. But we were like, what's this fortress for? And they were like, oh, it's to keep like the Americans out.
Sorry guys, here we are. And then one of the funny things about that too was that we had to do it the way it lined up time-wise. The only way to do it was in the middle of tour, in between 2 shows. That wasn't a day off even. So we flew straight from a show to do the video, and then drove back over the border to play in Michigan that day.
Oh, yeah.
So it was it was like really compacted.
Insane.
It was a very, very intense shoot because we were only on set for maybe 3 hours, and it was like bam, 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 bam. It was the fastest shoot I think we've ever had because by
There's also
necessity.
a specific visual reference from Avengers in it. I love the scene. I think it's in New York when they all get back to back and they do the spin around them. I think that's just like such a powerful modern comic movie scene.
Yeah, and we did it first, and Joss Whedon ripped us off.
The basketball.
I shot on Skid Row.
That was-
actual Skid Row. So there was like, I think we were definitely intruding on all the residents of Skid Row's daily activity.
There was this one lady, it was really funny because part of the gag is we're playing basketball and we're bad at basketball. That was the whole point. And there was this lady who was heckling us the whole time. This lady was just walking by and she's like, you guys suck at basketball. You guys have no game. And we're like,
It's like
that's
clear, there's cameras.
Absolutely
and,
true.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, lady.
yes, we're not.
The jig is up.
Well, but it was just so funny because I'm like, clearly we're not. I mean, how did you not guess the humor in this? But it was really funny. She was there pretty much the entire shoot, just like, you guys are horrible. You're a disgrace to the game. And I was like, yes, we are.
That's one of those videos talking about earlier about the ones you go into that like are kind of a little bit of a mess that come out really good afterwards. I'd say that one is a qualifier for that. Like it was like definitely just again for the viewers who don't know Skid Row, that's a part of downtown Los Angeles where it's like a lot of homeless people, a lot of drug usage.
Right.
Not everyone's like high, not everyone's like a delinquent, but there's just a lot going on, and you know, it's very like, it's a rough spot. So like, I think that just kind of sets a tone for it kind of being a bit of a mess to begin with, and then it was just kind of a low budget thing, but it came out pretty funny.
Yeah, it was really funny.
We actually had, who was it that told us they really liked it?
Rob Halford.
Rob Halford, yeah, we met Rob Halford at an Australian festival, and we were playing, and Priest was also playing, and he like sat down with us just to tell us how much he liked the video, which is pretty cool.
He talked to us for.
He was super nice. He's very cool.
So, hold me tight or don't. I mean, I feel like I've told this story too many times, unfortunately, but I was tremendously ill, like absurdly ill when we were.
Stomach flu.
I had flu when we were shooting the video, and so I called up the director and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it today. Like I definitely can't drive, and I don't want to get in an Uber and have to explain to the guy like, pull over right now, you know, like I was that sick, you know. So
You were in the video as long as you were actually like,
yeah,
as long as he's on screen in the video is how long he was in the video.
and I can't.
That makes sense. Like he was barely there.
It was so brutal because literally in between every take, you know, you're surrounded by all these by all these little kids and these amazing costumes and stuff, and you know, it was incredible. Everyone had put all this work into it, and after every take, I'm like, excuse me, you know, and I was just violently ill the entire time. So somehow it cut together. You wouldn't necessarily know. I was very impressed. I was like, that's the power of editing, because even within the takes, it'll be like, I'm playing, you know. So, but they edited around it. It was very cool. Well, and that was the thing, as I said, I was like, is there any way to reschedule? And he's like, there's a couple hundred people here. I mean, no, like it's pretty much it. So I was like, well, I can't make everybody wait and, you know, let everybody down.
We
So
pushed through, got what's needed, and then the rest of us were there till. What was the? She was like 3. Was it like?
It was real
it
late,
6
yeah.
to 3 in the morning. I think it was 3 a.m.
Yep.
That was fun.
That was
6 is fun. A lot of just came up with like a lot of gags and shot them, and then
To be goofy.
that was like a thing again that came together. Like we had fun making it, and then it came together like in editing, because that's just like you just shoot a ton of gags, come up with as many as possible, and then you figure out how to make them work afterwards.
I think pretty much all the gags, but there was like different take. There was like longer takes and whatever. And there's ones that you think like,
Are
like
funny.
I think this is the funniest thing, but you got to go for like a broad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's always funny too, is because we all have very different comedic instincts. So what, you know, you'll do a thing, you're like, that was pretty funny, and then everyone's like, that was not so
And then
funny.
you're just like, the weirdest is you'll just be like, well, I was just making my normal face, and
Yeah.
everybody's just laughing.
You know, that's actually one of the most brutal things where you're like, is you'll do a take and it like slays, and you're like, that's just
That was a lot of
that was just it.
that was a lot of your take specific.
Yeah,
They were good. I think like there's a lot of takes too where like we all thought they were super funny, and then I remember we were watching the edits and I'm like, that thing sucks. We should remove that thing completely. Yeah. So power of post.